we can say that, but it's honestly, frankly, never going to happen, even in states that are incredibly progressive, incredibly liberal, because liberals and progressives don't care about male issues.
Yeah.
Don't care about male issues. So it's only about the woman. And so, but true equality, if that's what feminists really cared for, would be like, well, we can give men this equality that would equalize things, or true equality, we walk back abortion rights completely. So that's why it's women's advocacy.
Right.
There's also, though, I don't know, or I probably can't explain this, but equity and equality, I think, is where.
So what, I don't know what that
so
means.
Equality,
so
again,
that.
I don't want to compete like with men and have everything, I don't know, be equal in that sense. There's, it's
You mean
just-
equity? You're talking equity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was just it's not necessarily equality, which I think is the problem. That's what is.
But so, I'm a little confused here. So, are you saying that, well, it's not equality, but it is equity that women currently aren't required to?
No, I'm saying that the issue with the feminist movement is equality and a push for equality, whereas again, I understand that there are biological differences between men and women. I don't want to be, I can't lift the same as or as heavy as a man would be able to. Just certain things where.
But so what in terms of the two examples I provided, just where does that come in?
The two examples that you provided with the
Military.
Well, so my position is that feminism is not, it's not inequality. It's not about equality, because should there be some form of true equality between men and women that could conceivably come to the detriment of women, feminists will not fight or advocate for achieving said equality.
Oh, sorry, no, I was agreeing with your point. I was just stating that the issue that I think with them is that, again, it's the push for equality, which I think is unrealistic.
Yeah.
Well, so you're against the push for equality?
Yes, I'm for equity.
So equity would be what?
And that's where it's...
well, let me ask you a question. Does equity justify the current state of men in this country being the sole subjects of forced military conscription?
I'm on the side where I don't think we should be enlisted, but that's because of all the issues that current women face in the military, and they're subject to a higher percentage of SA. A lot of them are subject to a ton
Wait, hold on. I just got to come in on this. Should women be precluded from going to college, given that feminists often like to purport that the SA rate is sky high in universities? It's a feminist talking point that in universities, I don't agree with their statistics, but they say that...
I mean, when we're talking about a draft, though, this is like we're choosing to go to university. We're not necessarily choosing to go fight in the military, so...
There you go.
Different, different circumstances you're talking about.
Sure, fair enough. Okay, you're not compelled to go to university. So back to your point, though, so because...
Yeah, but I don't get that, though. Wouldn't that be worse? Wouldn't that be worse? So, okay, you're compelled to go to this place where you potentially could get SA, versus you choose to go to this place where the stats are way higher for SA? Wouldn't it seem like you would still advise women not to go to either place?
Of course.
We're talking about education, though, and getting education over fighting a war.
You're going to get educated in a war. Soldiers get educated, and you're going to have access to free education post-war. So, I mean, the thing that I don't really understand here, though, is if the argument, or if kind of the worldview is the rates of SA are way higher inside of college, right? It makes sense, right? There's a lot more young women. There's a lot more kind of drunkenness going on, things like this, kind of logically, I could see how that could definitely be an issue. But if your objection is, well, women shouldn't have to go into a draft because of SA, well, then neither should men, because men are far more likely to be SA'd in the military as well, as if they're not in the military. So if men aren't in the military, less likely to be SA'd than if they are in the military.
Men.
Men, yeah, that's correct.
Okay.
Significantly higher, by the way.
Okay, I'm just not really understanding your question.
Okay,
was that
so
just a
if
general-
you're saying, well, it's kind of two-pronged.
Sorry, you're comparing.
So I'll make it super easy, right? If you're saying women shouldn't go to the draft because their potential to be SA'd is way higher.
Not necessarily that. There's just, not just that point. There's also just the point of physically, again, as well. Physically, men are definitely better equipped to handle like heavier machinery, like do a ton of things that require physical strength. I think that like if women fought, like, okay, so if you got women versus men to fight in a war, who the hell do we think would win?
Men, for sure.
Men for sure. So it's just more of a, I don't know how much we'd help necessarily.
So then what additional benefit do men receive?
Like, I don't know how much,
I
I don't know
agree.
what this could do.
I think
Like,
Hey, listen, I totally agree with this point, but it just kind of makes me want to ask, though, what additional benefit then should men receive from the state, considering the fact that you only want them to go and fight wars on behalf of you?
But can I put something?
So
all
what
wars are
should they
started
additionally
by
be
men,
entitled
no?
to
So-
that you're not entitled to, is my question.
Sorry again.
Well, if you want men to go fight wars to protect you, what should they be entitled to that you're not entitled to?
What is it?
Well, they have a greater responsibility than
What do you
because they
believe?
have to go fight
okay,
the wars,
so what do
right?
you believe that men should be entitled to because they do this? You think that our right to vote should be stripped because we don't enlist
If you
in
can't
the
defend
military?
it, then why should you have it? If other people have to defend it on behalf of you, then why shouldn't they exclusively have it and you not have it?
Yeah. Can I answer this?
No.
No?
I'm just not really sorry. I'm not really understanding.
But okay.
Yeah. So I'll make it. I'll break it down a little bit.
Yeah,
simpler.
yeah. So I'm
Yes.
I'm getting a like because you guys aren't enlisting in the military, you shouldn't have the right to vote.
Yeah, I mean, but let's assume for a
is
second
that your
I was
argument? That sounds like
Yeah.
your argument.
No. It's just the potential for it. So all men have to sign up for selective service, all of them, every single one of them. And if a bad enough
Which
war
I
breaks
don't
out,
I don't think
hang
should
on,
be the
let me
case
finish.
either.
Yeah, hang on, let me finish. All men have to sign up for selective service at 18 years old. That is the law. Now, the thing is that
Change this.
if a war got bad enough, they would be able to serve in tons of different capacities other than just fighting on the front lines of whatever said war was. Especially if a war was bad enough, they would take them with almost any condition. We've seen this before. So if that's true, and the potential exists that if a massive war broke out, and men are the ones exclusively who are going to fight it, why don't they have additional privileges that the people who aren't able to defend their own rights have?
They
That's
should.
what I don't
No,
understand.
yeah, they should. If that was the case, then I think that men should have special privileges over
I agree.
over
So
women. If it
the
came down to
patriarchy
that,
wins again.
if
yes.
if it came down to that, again, this is you're pushing.
But I mean,
into
it
that.
has come down to that many, many times. I mean, it's already
Yeah,
happened
then they
many times.
100% should
Well, then,
receive
without
special
logic-
privileges without stripping our right to vote.
Well, yeah, but I don't understand because you can vote to make them go to war for you. That's why it's problematic.
Who
So you can
started
vote.
the
You
war?
so let me explain what I
Men
mean.
or
You
women?
can-
Who's creating these wars though? So
well,
men-
if women voted to go to war, it would be women, right?
And and I don't think women would vote to go to war.
Except
Well-
the problem you have with that is when we take a look at female monarchs, they often went to war far more than the male monarchs did. So it turns out that, and by the way, when it comes to warmongering, women often do vote that direction. And the thing is why wouldn't they? They don't really have to suffer any of the physical repercussions of it. So the idea here is just this. It's just to say this. Since many, many times already in American history, there's been a general draft instituted, and men have had to go off and fight wars on behalf of their nation, and women have not had to do this, because you and I agree they don't have the capacity to do so on average. Most women don't have the capacity to go fight with men in a war. Then why shouldn't those men, why shouldn't men in general, since they're all assigned to selective service, have the right to vote, because they seem to be able to protect the right and women can't? That's the ultimate question.
I feel like with that logic, you shouldn't be allowed to vote then if you don't go to war. Like,
Yeah.
No,
yeah,
no,
with
no,
that
no, no. You're
logic.
still
you
signed up
vote,
for the
like, when
selective
there's an
service.
election,
Wait. You're still signed up for the selective service. The potential is only there for you to go to war. It's never there for women. If they choose not to, they never have to. There's no
So
potential
your question
for it.
again is why shouldn't they have special? And I'm saying that they should if they.
I agree.
They definitely should without stripping the right for women to vote.
Okay, well, then what special privileges should men get in society?
I don't know whatever special
No.
privileges you think you deserve for.
Okay, well, I think that women should be able to vote, and that every man's vote should be worth double a woman's vote, because they're the defenders of the nation.
But not all.
You've defended the nation.
Not
Well,
all.
wait.
not-
Hang on. Again, so I think we're not clear here. We're talking about potentials.
Okay. Yeah.
You and I agree, every single man at the age of 18 must sign up for a draft.
In my country, men and women.
Hang on. Just stop. Let her finish, please. You agree with me that every single man must sign up for a draft, right?
I just disagree with you in the like my vote should be stripped because
I'm not saying
I don't.
nope. You can have a vote. I'm just asking.
It got to
men's
that. It got
votes
to
worth
that in the
double.
conversation.
Yeah, okay. Forget. Well, this was because we're in hypothetical land. I'm just asking that men's votes are double what a woman's vote is because they have the burden of being drafted. And
Not
women do
all men. I would argue that it'd be the men serving.
Yeah, but why?
Xander
That makes no
donated
sense.
$200.
Why?
Well, why
Are
would it
Slavic
make
women
sense for
coming
a man
here because
who?
they want to embrace American feminism, or are they more interested in maintaining their cultural traditions with American men?
We'll have to get to it later.
Here. I'm going to ask it. Let me just ask this through
Okay,
yes or no. Hang on,
okay,
hang
I
on,
get
hang
it
on.
because it's
Hang
a
on,
pick.
hang
It's a
on,
selection.
Hang on. Stop. Just listen. I'm just going to ask this through yes or no's. None of these questions are going to be loaded, I promise you. Not a one of them. Question 1. Is it only men who have to sign up for the draft?
Yes.
Do all men have to sign up for the draft?
Yes.
So then does the potential exist that all men could be drafted?
Yes.
Okay, so if the potential exists that all men could be drafted and 0 women can be drafted, then why is it that we don't give men double the voting that women do? Because we're under the assumption that all men could be drafted to go fight a war and 0 women ever will be.
It's just I don't think that would necessarily, be the solution that we're like looking for in our society, that men would get double vote. I don't know. I think if you ask men as a collective, like, hey, what do you think we should get for this? I don't think all their men would be like, I want a double vote over
If
women.
men, if you were to, do you think then that if you were to, and we could run this social experiment, I think it's interesting. So you think if you went down the street and you asked men, you have to sign up for selective service and women don't. So we want to, hang on, so we want to give you double the vote of women. Do you think most of them would say no? Think most of them would demand that women had an equal vote to their own?
The double vote is just a very.
Wait, let me ask you guys a question. Maybe you guys want your will to whatever you want politically. You want your will to be the law of the land. If we asked women this question, would you like double the voting power of men? Do you think women would take it?
You want me to answer?
Starting with you.
Without an explanation as to why they.
No, you just get double the
just
voting power.
Yes, women would take it.
Well, would you take it?
Without the simple explanation, yes, I would take it.
Would you take it? Double?
Probably, yeah.
Double the voting power?
I mean, that's weird. That's not equal. I would want to know why.
It's just an
Because you're
effort.
women.
'Cause-
You just get it
But
because
for
you're
what
women.
reason? Like,
No
we-
reason
we
whatsoever.
should still
No
all be
reason at all.
equal. Yeah, no, I would not.
Hasn't there been talk though about also having women being drafted?
I think there's currently
Yeah,
something.
there's tons of talk about that. You think women are going to vote for politicians that get them drafted? You think that women are going to support politicians who institute a draft against women? Because I would say that the chances of that is exactly 0%.
You'd be
I would say that seeing a draft for
Well,
women
these are,
in my
again-
lifetime is an impossibility.
And you mentioned the monarch, but in today's society, these wars are started by men. So